Tonight, thousands of homes devastated, many more spared as the Brisbane River peaks below predictions. A promise to overcome the odds, but the pressure and pain tells on the Premier.
We are Queenslanders. We're the people that they breed tough north of the border. We're the ones that they knock down and we get up again.
The tugboat captain with nerves of steel who saved the Gateway Bridge. And the Bremer River recedes at Ipswich, raw evidence of the flood's destruction.
This is 7 News.
Hello, I'm Matthew Gasner, and today I'll be telling you some facts about floods. First of all, what is a flood? A flood is an overflow of an expanse of water that submerges land. Floods can bring positive and negative outcomes to an area that has been flooded. For some people, floods can mean dreaded events that bring death and destruction. For others, floods can bring new life and positive outcomes. There are many different types of floods. Riverine, slow kinds, e.g. runoff of sustained rainfall or rapid snow melt exceeding capacity of a river's channel. Causes include heavy rain, hurricanes, foreign winds, warm rain affecting snowpack. Unexpected drainage obstructions such as landslides, ice or debris can cause flooding upstream of the obstruction. Fast kinds include flash floods resulting from intense thunderstorms or sudden release from upstream catchments or dams, landslides or glaciers. Coastal is another form of floods caused by severe sea storms or a result of another hazard, e.g. tsunami or hurricanes, a storm surge from either tropical cyclone. Caused by a significant or unexpected event, e.g. dam breakage, or as a result of another hazard, e.g. earthquake or volcanic eruption. Humans also cause floods. Accidental damage by workmen to tunnels or pipes. Dam malfunction. This is also caused by humans. This occurs when a gate is accidentally opened or the gate either gets damaged. How does a flood happen? A classic flood occurs when a catchment has been inundated with heavy rain over a short or long period of time. Areas downstream of the catchment can flood, and often these areas haven't even been hit by rain. Floods also occur when dams have been overfilled and need to release water out. Humans are also a cause of floods. We create structures to hold water, but in some cases dams fail and accidentally open the gates and flooding local residents' houses. How do floods affect humans? Floods are very dangerous, and in the worst cases, people die. Many people after floods become depressed due to the loss of life and social security. The effect on politics is huge. This creates massive debates deciding how much money is needed to repair in the flooded areas. Politics take this as a time to judge the other government in the way they do things. Our drinking water is also affected by floods in many different ways. Our drinking water is polluted with toxic chemicals that came off farmers' land and end up in our drinking water. The water can also be contaminated by animal waste and human waste. If this ends in our drinking water, a huge plague will break out. Infrastructure is also damaged by floods. When a flood rushes through town, it takes everything with it in its path. Floods are able to knock down buildings in less than minutes, and in some cases, in seconds. After floods, there are always complaints about insurance. People's houses get washed away during floods, and people then become homeless. Insurance companies then come in. Insurance companies help people rebuild and get back on their feet. In some cases, people do not read the terms and conditions. After the Brisbane floods, many people are left bankrupt. In some cases, companies do not even cover some sorts of funds, like flash floods. Many people after floods have no jobs. This is because either their business has been completely demolished by a flood, or they are unable to reach their building/office because of the high waters. People then have no money. This is where the government comes in and gives the unemployed people with money to get them back on their feet. In some cases, food production has increased in areas that has been flooded. Until the 1970s, Egypt used the Nile River to their advantage. During spring, the Nile River would flood due to the snow melting in the highlands, then causing the river to flood. This would then flood the floodplains, bringing silt and other good nutrients with it. The silt and nutrients would be left and absorbed into the soils. The locals would then plant farming crops into the floodplains. These days, flooding rivers are usually carrying terrible chemicals in it. The rivers pass through local resident houses collecting cleaning chemicals. This is going to pollute the environment and kill animals, and this is not safe to drink. Food production these days is based and the riverlands due to the water supply. If the river was to flood, it would sweep away and destroy all animal and plant life. Floods completely destroy everything in their path. Next to the river is where animals base themselves due to the high amount of water supply there is. Due to this, whenever there is a flood, trees and animals get flushed away downstream, and most likely they will die. Transport links are also destroyed. This happens when a flood comes through and destroys roads. In most cases, roads are completely washed away. How do we recover from floods? If houses have to be rebuilt, they should be moved to higher ground so that they are less likely to get flooded again. The government usually supplies the area that has been flooded by donating residents with money. After floods, there is always a huge amount of people that are left unemployed. By creating jobs, this is where people can get back on their feet and pay their debts. After the floods, the natural environment is extremely damaged by the power of the river. The trees are usually all ripped out from the ground. This means there's nowhere for the animals to live. If we do not revegetate the area, the ground will be completely exposed to all elements of the earth. What are the long-term effects of floods? Infrastructure, in some circumstances, can be permanently damaged. Therefore, they have to be demolished or rebuilt. The farming land which the flood crosses gets polluted with dangerous chemicals. To get rid of these chemicals, it takes years, and in some cases, decades to get rid of. But floods bring a vital benefit to the whole farming industry. It brings a huge amount of water and breaks droughts in some circumstances. The landscape is damaged when floods come through. Mass erosion occurs when flood passes through the landscape. It can even erode hard rock. Insurance rates increases in the areas that are affected by floods. This is because the insurance companies do not want to lose money in the areas that get affected by floods. Salmon is always lost in areas where the flood comes through. Salmon replenishment then has to be done so that the soil can be used for farming purposes. Emotional and financial hardship. In some circumstances, missing people takes a long time. Bodies can be missing for months. This is because floods can carry debris for hundreds of kilometres. What if Adelaide was struck by a flood? If Adelaide was struck by the flood, the main rivers that would flood would be the River Torrens and the Sturt River. The River Torrens catchment is located on the Gorge Road just out of Gummerang. The River Torrens Dam is able to control and stop most of the water flooding in Adelaide City. The River Torrens also has a catchment in the city. This catchment is known as malfunctions. If this catchment failed during the flood, it would flood the whole coastal areas. The Sturt River is also a river that would flood with also a huge amount of rainfall. This river has two locks from the Glenelg Bridge. These two locks lock together to build a semi-lake. If there was a flood in the Sturt River, the whole area would be affected due to the low-lying areas surrounding it. If Adelaide was affected by a huge amount of rainfall, we would be in lots of trouble due to Adelaide being low-lying. But this is highly unlikely because Adelaide does not experience this amount of large rainfall. Places that lie low in Adelaide will be affected due to the water running to the lowest areas.